Merry Christmas one and all, and welcome to the Rudding Park Hotel and the brand new BYD Seal, a fully electric car with some rather dazzling numbers. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planet Auto. Now BYD, they're a Chinese manufacturer and they started out making batteries. The Nokias that you had back in 1995 were made by these guys. I suppose in that vein, we've got a battery, why not build a car around it? But isn't that the perfect way? Pretty much everything is made in-house. So you have no software challenges. You can guarantee when you add, I don't know, let's say heat pump, it will quite easily talk to the battery system. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is, in a word, groundbreaking. To give you some context, BYD enter 19 patents every day and around 15 are approved. Now last year, the profits, whatever the amount was reinvested back into research, and that maintains that BYD stay ahead of the curve. For example, this is built with CTB, cell to body. So how can I explain this? When you have an electric car, normally you house the batteries so they're protected. On this, it's a complete turnaround. This actually forms part of the body and the protection and the strength of the whole chassis. For example, it could have two side impacts. You could then take the batteries off it and reinstall them on a brand new Seal and it'll drive away. So you use blade technology. So not only does it take up less space, it's stronger. For example, the puncture test. You can also drive a 50-ton truck over the battery and it won't rupture or burst into flames or any of that jazz. It's quite remarkable. You have to think of it as in the first electric cars, you had to protect the batteries. The battery technology on this stiffens up the chassis, makes it safer, gives you a better driving experience. A whole list of things you wouldn't expect from integrating a battery into a chassis. That's the thing, I could wax lyrical about the development and research of this car, but the bottom line is, it takes BYD to a whole new level. The other thing is the price. You can get this one for under 46,000. You can get the all-wheel drive for under 49,000. That is a lot of car for the money. And don't get me started on performance figures. Now this is a rear-wheel drive and it pulls 0 to 60 in around 5.9. Nothing too crazy, but if you go for the all-wheel drive, that pulls it in 3.8 seconds. So we're encroaching on supercar numbers there. It's a phenomenal drive. And I don't say that lightly. I've driven a lot of cars. And this, well, it'll astound. The other thing is, it's not got a low range. You'd think with performance figures like that, sub 300, well this offers around 340 miles of range, and the all-wheel drive offers around 320 miles. Now, dependent on weather conditions, it may drop a bit. But the other thing is, BYD, across the full range, install a high efficiency heat pump. And it keeps it, I think it's thermal dynamics or something along those lines, is around 20% better than the average electric car, which is really saying something. And it'll operate up until, I think it's about minus 30 degrees. That's crazy numbers, but that's BYD all over. They're emerging into our markets with cars that just make you think, wow. But when you sell 300,000 cars throughout the world every month, excluding the US, that means you can make a statement with your price, your car, and everything you're offering to the public. And as we know in the UK, we're a hard nut to crack. And you'll notice on the back of this, it doesn't even say build your dreams, which is what BYD stands for. But that doesn't surprise me. We're a fickle bunch when it comes to having words on the back of our cars. Now what do you get for your 46 or your 49,000? 19-inch wheels across the full range, a panoramic, also a battery which is 82.5 kilowatt hour, 8-in-1 powertrain. It includes pump through to the drivetrain. Now the reason behind 8-in-1 means it's lighter, it's more compact, it offers, well, a seamless experience. The only thing that you will see a difference with, heads-up display, and also, well, some of the technologies that are underlying. For example, adaptive suspensions and ITAC. If you're enjoying this, why not give us a like and a subscribe? It helps us get more cars and you can see us go on road trips and things like this. We've also got a road trip coming with the Atto 3, but that's another story.
Stop the press. We've seen in other countries the Seal is being offered with a battery size of 61.4 kilowatt hour. Whether that's going to come to the UK remains to be seen, but if it does, my word, it's going to take the price down even lower. Also, the Seal doesn't just come as a car. There's now Seal U. So if the sleek Saloon isn't floating your boat, why not take a look at the all-new family SUV? Expect to see it here early 2024, and it may well be a hybrid.
Now BYD have launched in the UK with the design principle known as ocean aesthetics. So for example, the rear has little droplets of water, and it just keeps that aquatic theme throughout. Also, some of the shaping around here, this is called X-Face. A bit X-Men? Not really, but you can kind of see where they're coming from. The way it shapes here, and then there, so you go. It's streamlined, it's beautiful, and it's got curvature that just makes you go. Everything is just elegant, and that's what appeals. Even the way the mirrors aren't too chunky. It's silhouette, it's proportions. Now it's tech loaded and safety loaded. Full LED lights, high beam assist, adaptive beam. You've got things like lane keep assist, collision detection, road sign recognition, all part of the ADAS system. Both models get a front camera and parking sensors. There's just so many things that make me go, ooh. For example, this flow here. And yes, it may not be a vent, but it really adds to the design. You can see that the way it almost blends into it. Most cars have more of this shape, and just look at the way that the wings flare out at the front. It gives it such a commanding presence. The side profile is something else. It's certainly what you'd call minimalist. You've just got this line down here. It doesn't just add to the aesthetics, but it also makes it more efficient. It means you'll keep your range longer. Even with 340 miles, the likelihood is you're going to increase that, especially if you say round town. You can see the short overhangs front and rear, and that's achievable with the
platform 3.0.
And having that platform makes the car so versatile. For example, you can have shorter overhangs front and rear, which doesn't just improve the aesthetics, it makes the vehicle handle better. And I'm so glad that we've got a wintry sun, because you can see we've got a pearl white. Now there's 6 colours to choose from, including 2 special colours, a grey and a green. 19-inch wheels across the range, like I mentioned, but also it's not the lowest profile tyre, which obviously adds to comfort. More black accents, and I do like this quirky design feature. It's the same with the side skirts. If you look at the etchings there, it's just that bit different, unique. It's a perfect combo of performance, design and aesthetics. I love the way that you're presented with the door handles.
Okay, let's take a look inside. Even with its low slung design, it's not really a challenge to get into. I do have to duck my head, but that comes with the territory. Just look at the door cards.
This car comes equipped with a 12-speaker system, decent door pocket, and yes, you've got the hard plastics, but a plush padded armrest. Excellent. Fully electric seats with electronic lumbar support. They're finished so well. This is a clever idea. Floor mats that jut up at the side and contain the dirt. It's a great driving position in the front. You've got reach and rake in the steering wheel. Solid build quality. All the sound outside is pretty much blocked out. The refinement in here, well, it's something else. And it's not just that, it's the whole build quality throughout. Even this, it doesn't look like it'd be the sturdiest thing, but it is. It's mega sturdy. Plush materials, armrests that'll suit you and your passenger. Infotainment screen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, satellite navigation. Nice and responsive. And also you can say, hi BYD, and do things like that. See, she's listening.
Say that again.
Could you switch to map 3D startup mode, please?
Setting map to 3D view.
See, I got it wrong and it still knew what I was on about. Hi BYD. Can you put my window down, please? If you've noticed, it knows it's my window. You can do far more than that. We'll probably do a video that goes into it. On that note, you'll be happy to know that we've got this for a road trip. Where? Who knows? But with a range of around 340 miles, the world's our lobster. Proper buttons on the steering wheel, chunky indicator stalks, and I do like the micro cluster. Power, eco and charge. So when it's in the charge, that's when you're using your regen, either by letting off or braking, or a combination. Speedo on the right, and everything else is just nice and clear. You can see what driving mode you're in and your range. And then when you're in adaptive, it'll display distance from the car, etc. It's all very straightforward. And don't forget, there's an app, so you can check the status of charge. You can do things like preconditioning, see if your vehicle's locked, all that kind of thing. Also, you don't actually need a key. Let me ask you a question. Can you tell the difference? Yeah, this is the top of the range. We were in the design before. On that note, I've completely forgotten about the trims. So you've got a design and an excellence. This is the design. As far as, say, creature comforts, it's the same across the board. I love the shaping round here. 2 cup holders, and this is rather intuitive. I mean, the first thing, you look at it and think, wow, is it a rotary? No, got like a crystal shifter. To be honest, that reminds me of BMW i8. And it's just very simple to use, reverse, neutral and drive. And this is how you start it. You can disable things like your parking sensors, and you've got a snow mode. This is clever too. Normally if you had a vehicle like this, you would operate things like your air conditioning through the screen. But you've got override buttons. So auto, fan on and off, and the front window demister. And this is where your driving modes are. So you've got things like sport, eco. I'll go a little deeper into that in the driving section. And this, a volume or an on-off. All in all, it's pretty damn good. Storage points here. As you can see, we've got our BYD press documents, and you can pretty much get a clipboard in there. Nice to see. Everything just feels good to the touch. Heated and ventilated seats, and for the first time in a BYD, a heated steering wheel. And don't get me started on the seats. Luxurious, modern, futuristic, and leather. And it just envelops you. Quilting, and they're extremely comfortable. Plush. And front isofixes. Auto dimming mirror, and map reading lights. Let's take a look at the back. I almost forgot the Dyne Audio high-end music performance. It's something else. Wow, just look at the shaping, the way this juts out. Sleek, beautiful styling. Just look at the shaping here, and just look at the slope of the roofline. The whole thing slopes even off the back. Be interesting to see if that affects my headroom, especially at 6'3". Once again, met by the door handle, even on the rear doors. Decent opening, and this opens to a decent angle too. Lovely. Premium materials on the rear door cards. It's finished to the same level. So, if I get in like this, I didn't brush. Awesome. Now at my height, it's not one of those cars that you can jump in, but once inside, sat like this, I've actually got a view out the window. There's so many cars with this kind of configuration that I'll get a chunk of metal. I mean, yes, it is low slung, so I'm quite low in the seat, but I've got decent leg room. One thing I have noticed is the driver doesn't have a grab handle, but all the other doors do. It's such a laid back experience. Yes, the rear seats do dip down, but you expect that in this kind of car. It's beautiful. Everything has such a great feel to it. It's sumptuous. The backrest is in a nice position, nice and laid back, and I can just get my feet under the seats. But obviously that depends at what height the front seat's set at. Mood lighting, and it's a very comfortable position. Pull down armrests, cup holders, and just look at the panoramic. It's nice and light and airy. You've got a little window here over my shoulder. You'd be glad to know you actually have a cover in the back, and you can essentially shield the window. And I nearly missed these. So you've got your pocket there. You've also got a place for your smartphone. Yeah, you've got some vents. Well, it would have been nice to see tri-zone, but you have got some chargers under here. No heated rear seats, and the seats don't slide, and there's no recline. But to be honest, I don't think you really need it. It's very comfortable as is. That's it. When you develop a car like this, you've got a lot more freedom than, say, ICE. Hi BYD, rotate the screen.
Okay, rotating the screen.
Thank you. With the price tag of this, and its finishes, and its materials and plushness, it's a no-brainer. Love the stitching and the embossed BYD on the headrest. Isofix points, airbags around the vehicle, and we've got some map reading lights. Let's take a look at the back. Charging. The port's located here. Nice sturdy door, and it's got a max charging speed of around 150 kilowatts. And to put that into charging terms for you, say 30 to 80% in around 26 minutes. The one thing we have noticed is it's a continuous charging stream that doesn't spike and drop. But when you develop batteries, that's no surprise. The rear is quite simply a thing of beauty. So many vehicles jut out here, but it does have an element of a ducktail spoiler, but it's not as... It's just such an elegant look, I think is what I'm trying to say. Full width light bar, and here's those water droplets that I mentioned. You'll also notice you've got an enveloped chrome strip, shiny. BYD seal. Now, if you had the all-wheel drive, it would also say 3.8S, meaning 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. The other thing about this car is the way it puts its power down. As I mentioned, we'll take a look at that from the driving section. Parking sensors, reversing camera, and a power tailgate operated with this button. Can't leave out the diffuser styling, can I? That's immense. The back is essentially a work of art. I mean, the flow here. Power tailgate. As it's a saloon, the boot's not going to be the biggest, but it is rather deep, so you quite easily get some luggage in there and around a month's worth of shopping. A little storage area here and a subwoofer. If I lift up the floor, storage area as well as the charging cable. Quite sturdy too. It's all carpeted and you can shut your tailgate from here. There's also a boot light. To drop the seats is nice and easy. There is no way to do it from the boot. You can do it from the top of the seats. And it lays virtually flat. And that just allows you to put some longer items in. The rear seats aren't too heavy either, so it's quite easy to drop them and then push them back up. Let's pop the bonnet. There's no latch, and it is on struts. And for the first time in a BYD, a frunk. Perfect for wellies, laptops, you name it. Nice secure place in the car. Easy to see where to top up your wiper fluids, and everything else is just simple. Welcome behind the wheel of the BYD Seal. And this is top of the range. We've got an all-wheel drive powertrain. I think it's around 500 horsepower, which means I can do things like this.
I wish you could see by the camera. Whoops there.
Fractional blip.
That's the word for it, Ben.
Okay, it's realised I'm speeding, so
Sorry.
I'm just going to put it in sport. This is national speed. So, I just rotate this to sport, and we're doing 29 miles an hour. Get ready. 60.
Blinking, you'll miss that one, I think.
Yeah, this is quick. It's 0 to 60 in what, 3.8?
Yeah.
We've driven a fair few cars, but there's not that many that are close to 3.8 to 60. The thing is, it doesn't scrabble for grip. It puts the power down efficiently. It's also got something called the ITAC system, which is to do with torque.
And that vastly improves performance by tightening up the handling and refining torque distribution to maximise control and limit wheel spin and skid.
It's rapid. It is awesome, and even at 50, because it's an electric powertrain.
It's just so responsive, isn't it? You put your foot down and you're gone.
That's electric powertrains though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's instant power. There's no delay whatsoever. And even in eco. Wow. Well, it clears the windscreen nice and fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a good responsive system.
Okay. you could drive it quite easily every day. You put it in eco and you've still got power to get out of trouble, but you've not got that hypercar acceleration. So as an everyday, it's a pretty damn good proposition, especially when you think that this delivers around 320 miles of range. It handles like it's on rails, which, well, I suppose goes with the segment, especially when you've got something this size with an electric powertrain. It's weighty. It doesn't affect performance, but it does mean that they stick to the road like glue. Oh, wow, that's a nice Mustang. Wouldn't have a chance against this, but still a nice car. No, it's a comfortable ride, isn't it?
I find it exactly that, comfortable. It's a brilliant mix because you've got all of this wonderful performance,
Yeah.
and yet it's comfortable, so it's great for long journeys, short journeys, little adventures, you name it.
And on that note, we've got one for a road trip, so that'll be coming in the new year. And on this, you get the adaptive dampers. Let's see how it corners this 90 degree. Wow.
Oh, it was
Child's
smooth,
play.
wasn't it? Yeah.
The suspension's pliable enough. It's not like riding on a cloud, but to be honest, I don't want that. I want something where I can feel what the car's doing. But considering the state of this road, it's doing an exceptional job.
It's definitely bounce rather than bump, isn't it?
Yeah, and I do like the weight of the regen. Now, you can't adjust it with paddles, but you do get it in your driving modes. I mean, look how well it cornered then. Steering, lovely and weighty. It's almost got a feel of hydraulic to it. It's, what's the word? Precise, I suppose. But I can do this kind of thing. It's, wow. Let's see if that's affected. So that's eco. I'm going to try changing it to sport and see. Even on this damp road. Wow, the power. Ooh. I'm trying to work out whether the steering's any weightier. The acceleration, the way it drives, the whole package. It's well balanced, isn't it?
That's a really good way to put it, Ben. Yeah.
Now, be under no misapprehensions, it is big. Width-wise, not so much, but when you're navigating it into these car parks and things, it is a bit of a beast. It's commanding. To be honest, I like that. Speaking of that, you've got lots of safety. So sensors and cameras, mitigation systems, collision detection. It's the whole shebang, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, this is our first look, but when we get it on the road trip, we'll do a real deep dive. But wow, it's fantastic. The whole driving experience, the steering, the acceleration, the way it just stays stuck to the ground, everything. It's excellent. We can't wait to get it on a road trip, can we?
No, really looking forward to it.